So I realized today that it's been a year since we did our first Tuesday teaching. So our first Tuesday teaching was November 2nd of last year on Tuesday, and it was about new beginnings. And now we're on episode 19. I counted wrong. I had it as 18, but it's episode 19. And we're doing You Spiritually Snooze, You Spiritually Lose, talking about the expiration dates on our divine blessings. Destiny said she pulled a muscle in her butt the other day and was unconsciously massaging it all night at work. So I bet you had some coworkers like, "Ooh, go girl," right? Because they don't know.
Yeah, this is Cosmo. Somebody made a wish, yo. Man, she's a good-looking chick. I hope there's something that she can do.
Yeah.
So Destiny, you fulfilled somebody's wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wish fulfilled for sure. It's exactly what it sounds like. Is that what my boob is?
That's my wish. This is Cosmo, Archangel Cosmo's wish.
Yeah. Did you pull a chicken feather? Wish it on a chicken feather? So today we got she says she does what she can. I know you do, girl.
Somebody wanted to know what love was. They want her to show themselves.
Yeah.
I'm there for you. I'm there for you, girl. I'm there for you.
Real. So I wanted to start with some automatic writings that I've done to help talk about this stuff through spirit words. Because again, what if we wouldn't have done our Tuesday teachings? Because that was being told to us, you need to do Tuesday teachings. And I couldn't find the note where it said do Facebook Lives. And what if we hadn't done it, right? It wouldn't have helped you guys. This has been a year of us just freely coming and talking about all this different stuff. And it's expanded all of us. What if we wouldn't have done it? Someone else would have. It would have been given to somebody else. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. So
and this is Michelle, and we're going to introduce a new and final, and we always say final, but this really is the final one. And he's the one that why we are doing this, particular one, the Snooze You Lose, because somebody snoozed and lost, and we feel we actually gained better.
Yes, so. Absolutely. Yep. So it's all going to wrap up, and we're all going to be mind blown by it. So this is a channeled message I wrote May 17th of 2018, and it says to me from God. So it's important. My child, worry not. The world's weight is not upon you. It's upon Jesus. We have nothing holding us back or down, only ourselves. Stop limiting yourself. Outgrow your ignorant mind. It holds you back. Go for it. There's no quit in God, and I am with you. So right off the bat, God is telling me what to do, how to let the shit go, and to go for it, not to procrastinate, to have faith, to trust it, right? So now let's go to another one we have that's going to help us out with this whole experience of not wanting to snooze and miss out. So the guidance is, I don't know what the date is of this one, but it's probably in 2018 also. Expectations, leave them behind. I planned it all for you. Follow me cluelessly, and I will provide and show you off. You will walk by and give love and light to all. We will bless those around us. Have no expectations for your day, but journal about it after. Remember my steps. Help others find me. Use your uniqueness to find the lost. We will love them. We will hug them. Lean not on your understanding, because you have no idea what I have built for you. You are taken care of. You are loved. You are ready. Go love. And again, there's a tie with all these messages. It's all, hey, go serve somebody else. Let your shit go and go take care of somebody else. And spirit messages are always going to be like that. They're going to have that kind of message because they all come from love. And now I've got this last one. Okay. And it's got destiny in this one. This was July 6th of this year. I sent them as helpers. You are to teach them like an apprenticeship. Go through your journals and write down steps, cycles that you went through, and add them to your book. They heal you, you heal them. work on intuition together, meditate together, pray together, create a loving group, same source message of God and spirit, help strengthen their bond with their guides, teach them so they can help others. Destiny needs to love herself and feel worthy. Send her text and lighten her mood until she's free. Maybe some jokes, which is awesome. Need to be more playful for Alive. Maybe Cosmo or Gregory. Fun music, also talking real. And this new playfulness is the new person that we are introducing. Pray for highest good before and after each session. And have church outside. Have a playlist that everybody decides on. Bring love, joy, and happiness and playfulness to outside church. Show people how to find and connect with God outside. Remind them of the beauty outside, off of their electronics. Show the magic and you will create great, miraculous things. So when Michelle had that experience at the Outback, she also connected with this energy of Benjamin. So Benjamin is going to come forward and talk about the life he just left, because since somebody snoozed on the opportunity to help us grow, he has been sent here to help us grow. And I think it's to benefit us. I think what we would have had would have negated us in some fashion. And I feel like this is really going to kickstart a lot of things for God's mission. Because we're not snoozing, you guys. We don't want to snooze, and we don't want you to snooze. So Benjamin, how did you end your other life for you to end up here? Let's talk about that.
Well, I'm Benjamin. I do not have an accent yet because I'm new. I'm just now intermingling with everything, all my lives. But the last one I just left was a very hateful, and I'm a very playful, loving, or I felt I was anyway. But nobody heard me in that life. Nobody heard me. Nobody heard her. Nobody heard her at all. And it was a very not a good society for women. It was all no trick-or-treating. And they actually would burn you for this. The hate was terrible, and it was all about war. And I was starting in there to start to awaken, but some wasn't right. When I say right, Michelle could do this in that life, by the way. And by the way, Loki and her were intermingled to the point she could literally hold hands with him and people would not even argue with her.
Wow.
I could see him and he talked to me regularly. Like we were just now the Angie there did not like that because I don't know the why, because he loved you. Loki, advised you, but it was only to your benefit there. But see, this is the highest version of you here. And to see you here was amazing, So, but the life I just left, it was a very hateful society. As I don't want to slam anybody, because you got to remember, that's not who you are. What I'm saying is you're all defined by roles. And it's like these different movie roles. And I guess the best you could say was Shillitoes, if you even know what that is, or Kmart or Rinks. That's where I came from. I came from a Milford, but it doesn't look like your Milford at all. And it's not from Ohio. I don't even know what the hell Ohio is. And this is a very free society from where I came from. You ask how I left the society. So you want to know how I left. Now, this is my question now. I will pose this. I'm still finding out. I'm right now, Angie's reading the Odyssey. I just found out I was Odysseus. You guys say Odysseus, it's actually Odysseus. It doesn't matter how you pronounce the name. It really doesn't, but it's whatever. And that's why I didn't like fighting. I just don't like it. I never like it over here. And it was still John Lennon's still alive over there fighting his ass off. Elvis, I don't know who the hell that is. Johnny Depp, who the hell, I don't know who that is. Tom Hiddleston, I don't know who the hell that is. See, they didn't exist here. So that just tells you how different things are. Don't mean they weren't there. It just means I had no idea who they are. But so basically what you guys call suicide over here, it's not over there. Okay. It's not over there, but it's not like looked on yay, but that's how I left. Oh, it's Catholic. It's all day basis Catholic. From time you're born to time you died, you're Catholic. hell existed to them. I'm finding out. I knew logically it didn't exist, but people didn't hear me. I was so not heard. So how I left is she was misunderstood. And when I said her Loki, in that life, her family just didn't understand it. When they don't understand something, they have you put away for this and they want you quieted down. You didn't understand it, but see, you loved her enough. I want to know why. So your reasons were loving. I want to help her out. So when you had her, when I say committed, I'm not saying committed and hurt. When we say committed over there, it just means I just want help to see. Other family members, that's not what they were after. And I knew she wasn't going to come out alive. I knew they had already given her a lobotomy in that life. That's how they treat people that do this over there. And her skill over there was so high. Like she was not her, it was Loki. Like I could just say I was with Loki. She wasn't going to come out alive. They quieted Loki down. Loki could no longer speak through her because they lobotomized her. That tells you what people in other realms didn't understand. I went with her. I was a psychologist. I was also a teaching professor, and I was allowed in. I knew the doctor there because we were schoolmates, and he gave me an overdose of drugs to die with her. But I said, because of the fact that, and they didn't watch you real good over here, and I'm really keeping a lot out just for time. But I died with her, and he put a shot to finalize it, to make me dead with her. But all I remember, when I closed my eyes and I held onto her hands, and it was holding onto her hands. The last thing she told me, and this is the weird thing, she woke up at the restaurant Outback. With the lobotomy, she didn't know where she was. She wouldn't have known. I heard God tell me, because I could hear him clearly. He knew I was leaving. When you're leaving, God's very clear. So I feel this is significant to all of you. And please understand, if you do hear God and he's very clear, like, oh, no. Where I'm from, the vibration so low, and I was a high, because when you're getting ready to leave under good circumstances, you got to remember everybody says, well, suicide, it's different here, the circumstances. I'm not promoting it here. I'm not saying go do it. I'm not saying that. I talk to Cosmo. Don't do it. Over where I come from, it's a whole lot different. I was leaving because I learned everything we're going to learn there. And that's how we saw it as. And that's what God said. He said, you learned everything you're going to learn here, and you take her out of this. She's not going to come out alive. And he said, but you'll see Anita, which was Angie, in a much better light. Because I was so confused by her. Like, I wanted to love you, but how? And I see you're so beautiful now. And I wish you did have a Scott there. I really do. Because you didn't have kids. And I felt bad about that. And, but he said, I seen her and there's blood coming out of her eye. She don't know where she's at. He said, just entertain her. She don't know where she is, but make her last moments count before you go. I held her hands, and we were at Shillitoe's and Rings. Remember when I tell you when we get zippity woo, or she goes to Shillitoe's, and that's why. Because that's the last visions that I gave her. That's why she always goes back to the 70s, because that's the only thing she remembers. She wasn't there in the 70s. It's just all she remembers. And none of that happened. But I give her a playful energy, like happy, because that's how I was. I was always a playful go. Sorry, I can't say that word. But she told me the last thing she said to me, we always wanted to see Australia. Yeah, it existed over there. And she said, I want to see the kangaroos and just pet them just once. And I took her hands and I said, honey, and this is the weird thing. She knew she was leaving with me. And she said, I hope I can wake up at the Outback. I want to wake up in Outback.
Oh, it's messed up.
And I didn't know where the hell, right. So basically what happened, so this is for all of you that Laura validated this for me, is your old sister, the one that was so depressed, she's not here no more. She exited out. Yeah. You knew that. You all seen her leave. Yeah. Laura took it. Why did Laura take it? Because Laura can handle it. Laura can handle it and heal that part, because she was my daughter in that life. And she knows how to deal with that part. This part here is the part that they committed over there. This is what you needed over here.
Yeah.
And when that happened, Angie, when you put your hands on your sister, you felt that jolt, because the part of you that didn't understand from that realm entered here, because she did want to understand in a good way. Trust me. And she entered here to you, which she is strong, and you're getting to her energy. That's what's going on with you. But so basically your sister, the old sister, everybody has known, has died. This is the part that they had committed over here.
Wow.
And I had my hands on her. Laura said when Michelle came back, she had her hands tight, holding on. She was holding on to me. She was holding on to me as tight as she possibly could. I came in with her. When I was coming in with her, God said, "You're not in hell." He said, "You're reassured, not in hell." But he said, just because a heartbeat stops doesn't mean that the reality ever stopped. He said, "You're just changing the lesson." He said, "They didn't hear you there, so I'm bringing you here." And he said, "Your lesson here is to help her understand, but bring Loki forth. Bring the good that I tried to bring them, and they didn't want to hear it." He goes, "That's okay. That's okay." Does that mean she's a vegetable? Does that mean, like, you might ask, so what happened over here then? Did she really die? It doesn't matter. He told me it doesn't matter what it is. He said, if it's still going on, it doesn't matter. But this is the highest version. And every life I've ever had is wrapping up here with her. And you wrapping up. Everybody that's here now, you're all wrapping up here. That's what he said for the message here. He has given me divine vision. I had it there, but they didn't want to hear me. And I would have been committed. Honestly, I've been committed. And I will mention, in that life, she gave up everything so I could be who I was. She didn't care if she was anything. She had smarts, but she gave up everything for me to go to school, everything, because she said she was nothing unless I could be happy. And she gave up everything. And I see in this life that I can make that happen for her. And that might sound weird, everybody, but I feel like more of a husband to her. And this is to bring her love until either she brings it to herself or whatever happens. But she's been so content, so happy. And she's not her. And even I heard Laura say, "This isn't mom." And I said, because it's not. It's not. Because she's carrying that part of mom that needed healed, and she's healing it. So that's what God does. God, if he feels that part, he will do that. Angie, I feel that happened to you mass times. I feel when you came in as a baby, that's happened to you. I feel that part of you, even as a baby, accomplished everything she was going to accomplish. And I feel you've jumped several times. And I feel I feel really all of you that are here, you all have jumped. Destiny, I know you've jumped. I know you've jumped. Jennifer, I know you've jumped. Marianne, I've seen a lot of people. But this is the highest version of everybody. So you want to stay like the hate, the abortion, everything. I'm seeing what's going on here in your realm because it's different to mine. I will say it's more peaceful than mine. It was so much peaceful than the one I just came from. And I was a psychologist. I was a college professor, and they didn't hear me. They didn't care. I tried to teach. I want to talk about the creator. They went like that to me. They're like, "Oh, that, yeah, right, whatever. We'd rather just go off and start war. We'd rather just fight." And John Lennon was a fighter. And Yoko was the one that died.
Wow.
She was one. And it was to shut him up, but it made him louder. So it just shows how realities can change. But my reality was war was common. They would just troop through our village. I say village, that's what we call it. They would just troop through. That's how much hate I came from. And I want to bring playfulness, happiness here because that's what I wanted to bring there so badly. And to teach you all here that you're so much more than what you feel. I just came from a reality of hate. And I'm seeing Odysseus, I'm seeing all that. And I'm going to tell you, all through the war, all through the chaos, all he wanted was to go back to the love of his life. What made sense to him. When that's love. And I came back to love. My journey, I don't know how long my journey has been. I'm older than Loki. I'm older than all of them I'm seeing. I'm older than them. But that's okay. It doesn't matter the age. It doesn't matter the energy. It doesn't matter, like right now, like what, if you go what life, it doesn't matter what life you're on. The creator wants you to know love, your God, divine. He says, it don't matter what you call him. Krishna, he don't care. He's here. And these girls are here to teach love. If you're joining in, there's a part of you that's connecting in that vibrational level. I came to help these girls. I want to get to know Angie because I didn't get to know you in that life. I wanted to get to know you. And he said, everything that I ever questioned will come here easily, manifest easily. And the person that snoozed, he's a lower vibration.
Yes.
He says he couldn't have handled this vibration anymore. He said he couldn't have done it. So it's good that he didn't come around. This person did not come around. He snoozed, he lost. But it's all going to go for that person. And if you're watching, I don't really care if you're watching, you hear me say it, it's glory going downhill for you now. But when I say snooze, you lose, because it's saying you should be more generous. And this person is not becoming generous. It's more about who they are. And I don't, as I said, they know who they are, whatever. I go there. I don't care. I came in with a higher vibration because I feel that I can bring more because he's a lower vibration. And I apologize. I keep talking. But that's one I'm going to keep teaching not to say. So one thing, keep saying, I'm sorry, people. Don't say it. I don't like it. Don't. Her mom and dad tell her, quit saying I'm sorry. I tell her kids that. So only say it if it is needed and it's something for forgiveness. But even he says, don't say that, because don't be sorry for anything. Jesus died on the cross for you never to have to say that. Unless you really are being a jackass, then you should say it. But otherwise, don't just for whatever the reason, put your head down because some person's making you say it. But just know you're loved. Know you are loved, and all your lessons go back to love. And any lessons I would tell you go through, say, what is the good in this? What is the good in this? I am here because I said in my reality, what lesson, what good am I coming out of this? And I saw nothing. But when I left that reality, I saw something. I saw something beautiful, and it was here. She wanted to wake up at the Outback. So she did. She woke up at the Outback and not happy about how the situation was, but that's why if you remember your sister waking up, it wasn't her. She didn't know who the hell none of you were.
Yeah. She didn't know what was up at all. Like it was like a new person. And when I had my first spiritual awakening, I felt like that me died and a new me came in. That is what I always felt.
It did. Well, I can already tell you, it did.
Realization, that's exactly what had happened. I knew it did. One that had more strength to do this came in. And
Anita came through too. So on you, she came through. So again, when it happened, you felt that shock too. You felt an energy shock to you course through you because that was her entering. Because in a good way, because I wanted to get, so the highest version of you came through.
Yeah. And okay, they're saying no. I pulled a card and I wanted to read it real quick. It said, every day is a chance to get better. Don't waste it.
Yeah.
It's perfect for what we're talking about. Because we don't want to waste it. Again,
no.
It makes me sad that the person that was supposed to be here didn't get here, but he chose it. He's choosing it and he'll learn from it. And he's still getting stuff out of it. We're still good. Everything will still work out, but we are blessed to bless others. So if you aren't going to bless others, you're not going to be blessed. And I think that's like the asterisk side note of this whole thing, that not only are you to get rid of your procrastination and get rid of your excuses for not listening to the inspiration, right? It's got spirit in there. It's coming from spirit.
Mm-hmm.
We need to listen to that. But if we don't, it's going to get done one way or another. I had an example that I wanted to mention because it's an example of receiving inspiration and acting on it. I don't know if you guys have heard of Dennis the Menace. There's a comic book called Dennis the Menace. Well, there were two Dennis the Menace comic books that came out around the same time from two completely different parts of the world because it was divine inspiration. They were born simultaneously in March of 1951, two entirely independent and wildly contrasting Dennis the Menaces. One was the creation of Hank Ketchum, a former Disney animator in California. The other was a brainchild of a British cartoonist, David Davy Law. How awesome is that?
Yeah. I never heard of it. Our Dennis the Menace is so different than what you just described. That's why I was making a face. But no, that's amazing. And that,
yes.
And I will go back. It doesn't matter. Like if somebody did not show up, that's their choice, and that's fine. When I say that, I'm not saying I am the best, and that's ego. It's just I am very happy and pleased that but the divine is going to do what the divine is going to do. And it just shows you if you do snooze, you lose. When we say you lose, it just means you're just going to go around a different way to achieve your goal because you're manifesting. And what is going on is he's just giving you what you're manifesting. Yeah. And maybe at this time, it wasn't time for whoever. And that's okay. It just meant that a later date, maybe never, but whatever, the lesson's still going to happen regardless. Maybe the lesson has changed according to what you girls are manifesting, and you needed more of a me than a him. And that's perfectly fine. And that just frees him up to do whatever he needs to do over here. Or maybe he's manifest. You know what I mean? That's how he works, is what are you manifesting? And he's going to make it happen for you. However, and I wanted something better, but I thought it was going to happen in my reality. In my illusion, I honestly thought it was going to happen there, but it happened here. And that's just how crazy this is. One day I wake up, I'm a man, I'm holding hands. And by the way, I held her hands. I don't remember anything other than waking up with boobs. And in the hospital and seeing all this. And I'm going, what in the holy hell is all, because I didn't know anything. And she's like, She didn't know what any of it was. And when you said ambulance, it's probably like, oh God, what is this? What is an ambulance? Because where we come from, hey, but I'm just, so when you ask for something, let me be a service. Maybe it's not going to be in this reality. Maybe it's another reality. By the way, side note, and I want to mention this too. This is how your God works. And a lot of people will this because I really want to mention this. Reality shifting. I was reality shifting, and Angie can validate this. Laura can validate this. I was coming through as a different part of myself coming forth and talking, and everybody thought it was Locaus, but it was actually me. And I was reality shifting from my reality over here because I just fell in love with whoever this was. And I didn't know who the hell. I just saw I needed to be here. And I'm just talking. I'm like, I'm talking out of a woman. And I love her. So I think I'm going to just stay and do that. But then I decided I need to wake up and be in my reality more. But then I wake up over here. So I'm always been a part of here. And so if you notice when you reality shift and you daydream, you are actually somewhere else. And maybe when you leave here, maybe you go over there. I mean, it's just, and like I said, one day I leave as a man and I wake up with boobs and I sit down and pee now. It's just all weird, but it all happens. But he'll take you where you're needed. God will take you where you're needed.
I think another interesting thing here is when we started building our connection with spirit, I started writing down things that I saw 3 times. So if I heard something or saw it 3 times, I'd write it down because I knew it was a sign for something. Well, I kept seeing the car, the Odyssey, right? So I wrote down Odyssey, but I spelled it wrong, and it was Odysseusy. So I wrote Odysseusy, right? So every time I see one of these cars or SUV van things, I laugh and I think like Odysseusy, right? Well, Scott and I went to one of our favorite places, and we went to watch TV, and it recommended Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And that's like one of our favorite movies. So we watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And at the end of it, it said it was based on the story of the Odyssey. And before that, I had just read that The Wizard of Oz was based on the story of the Odyssey. And then Dante's Inferno had Virgil in it, which was from the Aeneid and Homer, and it links back to the Odyssey. So I thought maybe they're wanting me to read the Odyssey, right? So that seems to be what's going on here. So I got the book and I started reading it, and it was a lot. So I watched a YouTube video on it to try to help me understand the book because it was a little overwhelming. And the word Odyssey alone means a journey home. And it's about Odysseus finding his way back home. The whole time he's protecting his men. A lot of these stories that we've heard in The Wizard of Oz with the sirens or with the poppy seed that makes you fall asleep and you wake up, and then all these things are from the Odyssey. And this Loki aspect, Odysseus, is Benjamin. This is who's here. So this Odyssey thing has always been relevant. He's always meant to join us. He's always meant to help teach us. It's just a little different than it was supposed to be, but it's still divine and it's still beautiful. And I can't wait to see what all comes out of this, because the Odyssey, this is old shit, but it shows how the gods and goddesses manipulate our illusion, how they can come in and be somebody to help give advice to somebody. They can do whatever they want. And they can also cause things to go wrong for you if you go against them. This interaction is there, and I love that. And I highly recommend you watch it or read it or watch there's like 5-minute summaries of it, because it's brilliant. If you think about all this stuff, like Michelle and I didn't know anything at the beginning of any of this. Like her car wreck with the Wizard of Oz, like none of this stuff ever made any sense. And now it's making sense. And it's so beautiful how it's all tied together.
And Benjamin here still, but that's my way home. I'm here basically. That's it. And I did protect. All I remember really in any life I've ever had, I protect, I love, but I will outwit you. Don't make me mad. But I always knew, like, if somebody said something that it couldn't be possible, yes, it is possible. Like, I understood all that. And when Michelle said she could never, the Odysseys, but all her life. And even she said she failed in English because she couldn't read it. She said this made her cry. She couldn't do it. And it's Loki. It would make sense why she cannot, because that's my aspect. She couldn't. Right. Wizard of Oz, she'd always cry. And one of your cousins, it would always make fun of her and chase her with a big fly and say, it's going to come and get you. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Cousin, it was Sean.
Oh,
yeah. He always did. She hated the Wizard of Oz, so he would chase it like the Wicked Witch, which actually is kind of funny. But she hated that, but she couldn't do the Odyssey, and she couldn't do any of this. And oh, brother, art thou? She can't. There's no way. She tried and she cries. She says, "I can't do it. I just can't." And then when she had that vision of somebody here trying to come home, that's exactly what she was seeing. Was she was seeing Benjamin, but Benjamin needed her as much. It was just like the connection, and that was the last part of me looking for her. Like he was looking for Penelope all the way through this for 20 years. That's all he wanted. But what is that been my object is finding her. Yeah. What has been the object? I always want to know, but I'm here because this is the final part of me. This is the final part of me. And that was that's the last aspect of me coming home was Benjamin. And you asked what you said, you had no human aspects. Who knows what? He's a being here to experience stuff, and it's me, but it's just he's an older me. He's a much older, like he knows Atlantis. But he fights. He's a strategic one. He's one that does all that. I'm the one that causes the chaos. I'm the one that goes around with Cersei. Yeah. He's the one that would chase Penelope. That's the difference. Because that's how that went. But you got to know your life is so beautiful. But it's so chaotic. It's so wonderful. But gods and goddesses, they still exist, like Odin, Zeus. And I'm always Loki's always the fire asshole, horse mess. Yeah. And Dylan, by the way, is on my hit list. He's on my hit list. So the horse coming in, the Trojan horse. So he said, Loki. Is that how that all began with the horse? Yep. He's a jackass too. And I'm going to use Benjamin's line. But but now I love him, but that was funny. I was going to kill him. But that's how, but they got, and also too, Angie, when you were mispronouncing that, you weren't mispronouncing it. They wanted you to say the name Odysseus. Oh. So you weren't mispronouncing it. They wanted you to always say Odysseus and put it together.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Because that's how he says his name. They say Odysseus. And me and him go, it's Odysseus. And we said Locaeus because Homer, Locaeus, Virgil, Locaeus.
Right. Because he's always the freaking author of all this stuff. It's crazy. So I picked a high vibe card while I was sitting over here to like advice for us. And it's, I think it's just for me. I don't know. It might be for you guys too, but I think it's just for me. It says sleep. Think of sleep as a way to reset your energy and restore your body. Every day is a new energetic day. Ask yourself, what if I slept like a baby and awoke refreshed?
That's for actually, this is Loki. No, that's what Michelle, as a matter of fact, she's shaking her head. She was reality shifting. As a matter of fact, we had to try to wake her ass up because she didn't want to, because Benjamin's here. Now she wants to really spend time with Benjamin. Yeah. Now we're right back to, we don't want to do anything but reality shifts. And now it's like waking her ass up. But that was what was suggested by Benjamin. He says, honey, you're running around. You need to, and because right now he's in Odysseus mode, but she calls him Benjamin with this red hair. He even says, I got the beautiful red locks. I am beautiful. He loves how he looks. I'm muscular and beautiful. I'm not like my life. But that's what he just told her. He said, you need to get some sleep. You need to sleep. So this is kind of funny, but it's true for everybody. The energies of Halloween has been on everybody. And it was, and because that's when you see the dead. But right now till January, the veil is thin. So everybody are tired. I was clearing energies off, by the way, when you were talking earlier. I was clearing your energy. I was clearing Destiny's energy too, because I'm feeling a lot of, because you guys have such light. So I'm trying to clean some of that, but it's all right.
We've got a couple comments. Debbie said, hello, Cleo. I guess that's when Cleo was barking. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, Cleo's got stuff to say. Shelly said, hey, guys, I have a big life change happening very soon. Oh, man. Tell us about it. If you have questions about it, what you got? Have you moved yet? Oh, all right.
No, this is Locaus. I know there was something with her because it's been such bubbly and good energy with her coming around. Such bubbly, good energy. Like I just feel like the world's lifted for her. Like amazing. Like she's entering a whole other period of her life. But that's what I feel.
She's moving this weekend. Heck yeah. Destiny, thank you. I always appreciate that. I'm running into work right this second. I love you guys. Missed you. Nice meeting you, Benjamin.
Oh, it's nice meeting you.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad y'all got to join us. It's been a while. I've been sick and we've had stuff and I was TikToking and then they were like, why are you doing it? Like, just stop. Like I couldn't catch my breath. Like the best doing it. Like I had Locaus the snake in one of them. And at the end, I'm just saying shit balls, because I struggled to breathe through that whole thing. And it's like, well, I'm just not doing this. Like, it's fine. I've got 60 some followers. We're fine for a while.
Well, that's what, and this is Benjamin. She goes, Michelle's like, when I go to TikTok, I go, who the hell is this? I go, well, because right now she don't understand technology. I do. I set up her new phone. Now her mom and dad. I know how to make phone calls. She hates it. I helped her get insurance because I'm just damn amazing. Because this stuff don't scare me. Like she'll show me stuff that scares her, and I go, what? So this is a new part. You got to remember that part was always two. So there's a lot of similarities between this Michelle and that, but it's different ways. So she goes, I got this. What's good about this? Because I always say, what's good about it? And she laughs about it. She goes, call. I go, but yeah. So,
yeah.
But you don't push on stuff like that. Don't be pushing. And by the way, when you're in front of a camera like that, it can't be good because you don't know what's coming at you. These things are energy coming at you and you don't know what's being thrown at you.
Right.
You know that has to be something because where IKIS came from, this stuff don't exist. I don't know what any of this is. I thought I was going to be on the news or something. I didn't know what any of Facebook, what was that? Facebook. And I was like, is this guy corrupt? You have to do this. So I'm glad it's not.
Shelly said, I hope this will not affect my relationship with my grandbaby and son. And things are very strained with my daughter and son-in-law. I don't want to not have a relationship with my daughter.
But, I apologize. Oh, this is Benjamin. All I was going to suggest to her, this feels like what I would teach over here is she's got to be happy. They're used to things how Shelly has been since everything's happened. Shelly has to live your life. You have been a mom. You can be a mom, but you've got to put yourself first. You've got to make you happy. And I know this move is going to make you happy. And right now, kids are kids. They're going to be discouraged, but they're looking out for you because they love you and they're protecting you because they love you so much. They just want the best for you. They've watched you like little hawks. I've seen you got such close relationships with their kids. But I see that you've lived your life for them. It's time for you to live your life for you now. But I don't think they understand how that's going to work, but it's all about protection and they love you so much because it all comes down to love. And that, so Shelly, you're making the best move you are because you're doing it for you. But as you do it, keep your head up, do it and love your children and whatever they say, just because God forgives all of you, everybody, because there's nothing you're going to do to ever make God mad at you ever. So understand that. So if he could forgive all of you and me for everything, your children as well, well, and they will, because it's a lesson for them to learn. You need to move on and be happy, but they can go along with you. And what's going on, it will be just strained because but the energy will calm down. Because it's a whole different part, but this is going to bring her paradise because you need to be uplifted, Shelly. You really need to be uplifted. So right now, this is a perfect, beautiful thing. And and even your husband, I'm going to still call your husband, and Rick is pushing this. He's pushing this. He wants you to do this because that's what he always wanted, was that your happiness. He still wants your happiness. Your kids want your happiness too, but they just got to follow along with you now. And they will follow. So don't worry about that. It'll and as Angie said, it'll all come around. And you know how God works. And I would ask every day, Shelly, ask God, what is good in this? What's the lesson in this? And what is the good? And how can I be a blessing to others? But how do I show my kids it's okay? And then he will show you, if you ask the right questions, he will give you the right answers. And you do, Shelly, and you do ask the right So you're on the right path, but I'm proud of you for doing something. And he's also proud of you for following your dream, but be happy, but you can still be a mom, but also you're allowed to be happy as well. And I'm saying, I know they make you happy, but it's good to follow as well.
And you have FaceTime or Zoom, you
Right.
can still do these connections. And I mean, during 2020, that's all we had.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way better than nothing. It is better than what it used to be. And kids adapt. That's what they do. Grandchildren adapt, people adapt, everybody will adapt because they love you.
Exactly.
It's a scary thing that she's doing. It is, but try to turn it into excitement. Try to see it as excitement instead of being scary, right? Because then you're in charge of it. You're empowered by it instead of being pushed down by it. Be empowered by it. You know, this is good for you. You know, this is the right step for you. You know, this is a blessing for you. And that's going to bless everybody. Just walk into that. Just walk into it. Know that it's built by God. So you have to trust it.
And I, instead of saying it's uncomfortable and scary, don't put that energy like Angie's saying, say, empower, like Angie just said, empower yourself. Change your wording. I'm on an adventure. Yes. And it's going to turn into this adventure for you. Because if you give the energy of it's scary, you're going to give the energy of more scary, more scary, more scary. God don't want that. You want to give the energy of the word, like Angie said, empowerment. This is empowerment. This is, but I would say adventure. I feel he's saying adventure, journey, odyssey. You know, this is your odyssey. This is your way of exploring and the more you go out of your uncomfortable zones, it'll bring more light, more light, more light. If you when you read the Bible, that's how everybody grows. And you have to have growth or you don't move. And you got to have in your growth and you have to, and you felt that. So you're growing and that's fantastic. But yeah, this is empowerment and they do adapt. That's perfectly. But I love what you said, Angie. I love that. But yeah.
Well, because I was thinking that like as a side note, as a kid, I remember seeing people like Marie. She was so cool, but she married such a douche that I wondered, like, why do cool women like settle for losers? And that's all I think about, to where the world gave me a loser and like put me in that scenario. Like, yeah, well, you're a cool woman. All you ever think about is losers. That must be what you're wanting. And that's what I got. But then I stopped and I was like, whoa, well, then I watched The Office and I like Jim Halpert, right? So then I started like building like a Jim Halpert type of person. And then it's Scott and I met Scott. And there you go. So it is like, it's just thoughts. God picks up on thoughts. You're putting thoughts out. It doesn't know if you do or don't want it. It just receives thought bubbles and means like, oh, Angie wants that. Well, I'm going to give that to Angie. I don't know why she wants it, but this is what she wanted.
And another side note is Benjamin's still side note. I was that douche in my life. I was terrible. You're describing the worst person. I was that person. I was not a good person at all. I wasn't. So can I tell you something, how horrible it was where I'm come from? This, so you all know, and I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm laughing of the stupidity of the line. And that's just how the hate was there. So I was a kid, all right, in Milford. Milford, somewhere. I can't remember anymore. But so they told us in school, and they're racist. And that was a thing back then. If you're Black, Mexican, purple, nope, you didn't do it. So and I already had tendencies of, I was gay. Let's just point it out. I was gay. Purely gay. I was good, but that wasn't accepted where I'm from. That is not accepted. You don't do it. So when I was like 5, I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm going to say 5. The teacher is like, and this is how teachers work. They go, now, this is our rules. Like, if you're not Catholic, we're going to kill you. So I'm like, okay, don't kill me and then beat me. And they would actually beat the shit out of you if you even said wrong, the teacher. And you didn't say God, by the way. You were it was terrible. But anyway, they said something about, if you're Black, just leave the building. Just leave. Just get the hell out. If you're gay and Black, just leave. If you have sex with a Black man, just kill yourself now. And that's exactly what they said. And the teacher said it as a joke. So what did I do? I found a Black man because I didn't see it. And he was one of the most, and it wasn't because I was like, but I got in major trouble for it. And they took my car and they found out while I was married. And I settled for a douche, but I was a douche too. I just wanted to get married to see how it was. And I was actually, but basically I got caught. They bashed my head through the car and I make jokes about it, but they basically threatened me and him, and my life basically went down because they thought it would go down, but that's not how. And I was forgiven for all of this stuff. So that's where I come from. Just let you all know here, still not as bad. And I can't tell you if you guys have done this here or people say this here. I can't not judge that. I'm just telling you because I don't want people to say this reality is terrible. The illusion was that's where I came from because people wanted that victim. They loved the hate. They like they thrived into it. Like I didn't like it. I wanted to play. I wanted to in the rain. And they didn't want that over there. So when you guys talk about this world, this where you're at now is the highest version of all of you. I love it. Go outside, grow, and don't be on these computers and things because I was never on any of this stuff. And I felt I was, but I'm here and I'm not anymore. I like to think I'm not anymore, but you can grow, but you can grow. And Angie, by the way, you talked about your marriage and the people might say that with Marie. That's how low you felt. Yeah. You did what I did. You just wanted to get married because everybody was promoting this. And that's why you did it. It wasn't because you settled, but then when you saw Scott, there was a whole other thing because you changed what you thought. So your vibration changed. So he came around. My vibration changed over here. And I met her. We were just as messed up as the other, but you hated me because your sister, you didn't like me. And because you were the older sister there and you didn't like me. Mm-hmm. And the person supposed to come around was the youngest brother. Mm-hmm. He did like me, by the way. He probably wouldn't like me now, but he liked me there. Right. But I apologize. I keep talking, but
I got two things from your thing. So one, you were talking about how hate was big there. And I've been listening to Take a Look Around by Limp Bizkit, where he says, now I know why you want to hate me, because hate is all the world has ever seen lately. And so it's relevant. And side note, all this racism talk, that the color of our skin, the only difference is how close you live to the equator, which is the closest part of our planet to the sun. So that's the stupidest reason to ever have for not liking another person, because it's location, right? So like, well, I'm better because I was at the tip of the planet. Get over yourself. It's nonsense. Like there's something not right with you if you think that way. So you need to start adjusting. And if you believe everybody came from Adam and Eve, how can there be any difference in anybody whatsoever? They're all the same people, right?
Yeah. Well, your Bible is my version of the Bible was different as well. And, but mine was more I see your Bible. All right. Yeah. My Bible. Wow. They cut everything, like the whole part of Jesus walking, like who the hell was Jesus? And I say that not mocking any of you. I didn't know. It was all about you come here. And it was all about the old ways. God was an angry God. So I basically came from a reality where God was angry. Yeah. And I see he's peaceful here, but I always knew he was love. I always knew his love. And Catholic to me, it was a blessing to me because I go, what can I make good out of this? My parents hated my guts. I was basically left orphaned. They hated me. So I grew up in hate, but it made me feel like I could connect more. And I know I'm here for what I said, what I thought, what I wanted more of. And I had a lot of hate. I came from a lot of hate. I even died in a way where I could, because the last thing I heard was, you're going straight to hell for how you're dying. And I didn't. And he reassured me, this is paradise. She's in paradise. You're in paradise. So as I said, I'm not promoting this back where I come from. It's okay where I come from because I knew everything had been, and I'm not sad, but that's how I left. But that's also to tell you there is no hell. When I came here, there is no hell because I left my eyes. But basically when I came here, I go, oh no. But I know what I feel when I see this live and I feel the energy coming here. It's the most amazing, loving energy. And even from you, I always wanted a good relationship with you, not to be beat.
Yeah, man. I used to have a little temper in me, so I could only imagine. Man.
You blackened my eyes. Matter of fact, when I died, I had a black eye and a busted lip from where you hit me. And I go, why was that? Because I didn't buy you the right kind of food for you.
Well, see, that's what I used to feel sad. I felt like I didn't have a lot of love in my life, but it helped me look for love in other places and then fill myself with love and stuff. And I think that made me who I am. So I'm kind of very thankful that this life has turned out the way it has. because everything has really made me a nicer and better person. So these circumstances have worked for my spirit to be able to wake up from its victimization. Because man, I was victim. Pity was my love, and not anymore, man. I don't want pity. It doesn't help anybody. I want empowered. I want uplifted.
Absolutely. And that's how you should be, because over there, you wanted to be uplifted. By the way, anybody hearing this, she wanted to be uplifted. Yeah. And you didn't know how to get through. You wanted to be heard. So you hit me because it was easy, because I was saying I understood your temper and your anger, because women had no rights there, period. I felt bad for women. So you had no way as an outlet. You had no Scott. You had nothing. I was terrible. I mean, I'm not saying I deserve it, but you felt victimized. So I feel that version of that you there was that version of you here, but you outgrew it. But see, she needed to see that. So she got to see it here, like, wow, I can be a better version. Yeah. I am a better version of me. And that hopefully will help her over here, because I'm sure that's what happened. You felt that jolt because you just knew you helped her see a better, because she just wanted something better and she didn't see it. So maybe now she'll change the world. I hope she does, because she wanted to so bad. She just was never heard, because you were beat for your beliefs there. Women had rights. Come on now. And you wanted to fight like John Lennon was your hero. And James Dean did not die, by the way, over where I'm at. Yeah. He turned to an alcoholic.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, he did. And he was a terrible, terrible over there, by the way.
Right.
But that just says in different realities what roles you play. And this is the highest version of you, Angie. But it shows how much you've grown. But it also shows when you've changed your thoughts, what did you get and achieve from that? With her, that's what we're doing now. We change our thoughts every day, because this is not her. This is the part of, I know her from that reality. And I'm working on the parts that were fearful, which was not much, on here to help her, because your mom and dad have even noticed that. They're like, she's happy. This isn't her. She's putting boundaries. It scares the kids now. Good. But her connection to Loki, because her connection there was wonderful. She could literally hold his hand, like holding his hand, people could see him. And that was brought here to this reality, because he understood that it's needed here. So everybody could see that you can hold hands with these deities, or whoever you want to call them, spirit guides. They're right there. You can see them. The veil's only there because you put this illusion there. Take this illusion off that you can't. You can't. Everybody can see, hear. Just do it. That's basically what I'm hearing Cosmos say. Just do it.
Right. Just do it, man. Yep. Stop procrastinating. We all just need to do what we came here to do, because we're running out of time. Time just ticking away. And I know we'll have our time to rest. We'll have our time to do these things. But when you have the energy to do it and you have the inspiration to do it. Write it down. Like, God will give you all the steps, all the guidance, all the encouragement you need. Sit in silence and write it down. Sit and ask. Anything I ask, I get answers for. Like, I was sick again. I'm sick again. So I was asking, is there a lesson in my sickness? Because there's a lesson in everything. And yes, of course there was. So, okay, well, let's start dealing with that stuff so I can maybe stop being sick, right? Everything that comes, why did this come to me? Did I ask for this? How did I ask for this? It makes it a lot easier to navigate our world.
It does. And it's good to like, what's good? What's the good in this? Like, I'm hearing Tony Robbins right now. She's been Tony Robbins. Yeah. So we've been listening to Tony Robbins, and the one I had her do it's called Relationship Basics, because she doesn't know how to get along with people and her divorce. And so I'm teaching her, hey, look, and she's seen all the crap that she did to take accountability, because he says to her, she said, what did I do wrong? Not so to pity herself, is how do I improve me? And he says how to improve you. And his wife, now that he has, because he went through a divorce, she went through a divorce. And she even said, his wife currently, Sage, of course, I love the name Sage. She said, and I really do, by the way, she says, what good is in this? Because she came from a really bad marriage. And Tony said, but the difference was, she always asked, what's the good in this? What's the lesson? What is God trying to teach me throughout? But that's what I did. I did the same thing in mine. I go, wow. And now she's married to a wonderful man like him. And that's what Angie did. What's better? When you ask better questions, you get better answers, and God will do that. Write it down, tape record it, Sing it out loud. And that's why a lot of you, you're singers. I'm trying not to have an accent. If you hear me, I'm trying not to have one. So I want to have one soon, but I don't want it. But because I'm still in this reality shift, but just basically, I don't know. I'm told to shut up. So I guess wherever I was going with that, they just said, shh. So I hear God just saying, just shush. You made your point. Shut up your mouthy. I'm excited because I don't know what the hell's going on. And there's a Trevor.
All right. Well, it's been about an hour. So
okay, cool.
Good. And it's 1:11. It's 1:11 on 11/1.
Wow.
That's a lot of ones. That's amazing. So our next, you know what? I was going to say our next Tuesday teachings on the 15th. I don't know. It should be. We should be good for a Tuesday teaching. And not quite sure what we could talk about. I was thinking of maybe talking about our chakra energy systems and balance, unbalance, right? How to help with some of these things, like our sexual appetites, our emotions, like how to really tap into these things so we have an understanding of these energy wheels, because they burn when things are up, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like that could be a good teaching.
And this is Marcus. That's a wonderful, because that's what I deal with is chakras in your system, because your aura, your chakras, all of that has something, and you need to understand all that. And if you don't, you will bring in a lot of this crap, like Benjamin's discovering the chakras and everything. And a lot of people don't even understand about the chakras, or your aura is bringing stuff in. And that is so important. So that would be a great teaching.
Perfect. I mean, because we're energy, and that's our energy. So that's us as our rainbow. I think we really need to explain that to people, because that can empower us, right?
Because that's what we want to do. We want to empower all of you to live your life. After you watch these, we want you to be happy and know that I've learned something. I picked up something. I picked up a valuable nugget, because that's what we're teaching is love and that. So I'm hearing Angela, maybe an ending prayer, and then we just go ahead, because you need to rest and sleep and that. So in all truthfulness, you do need to. And so we're not short on the Thursday teach live right now, because we need Angie to be good. Because what's more important, when they started this, we told the girls, their health is more important. We love all of you, but if their health is going down and they channel and they can't, it's not productive for them, for you, and the best. We want the best for all of you. So that is why. So if they don't, and you feel like it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you need channel. It does have a hit on your system and that. But it just means because all this energy is coming at you. But that's why you learn about your chakras. And you learn all of this, and they're learning about how to deal with that as well. And it take everybody, but we'll have to give meditations. We can teach you how to and advise you on some good YouTube. Angela knows some great YouTube meditations for your chakras and clearing and your aura and everything. So I guess an ending prayer, Angela. They always point to you. I love that.
Perfect. Well, I'm thankful for the divine creator for all the little nuggets of information that have been given to me over the years. I'm thankful that we have followed it. I'm thankful that light is being shed on stuff, and answers are coming, and truth is coming, and what looked hopeless is looking hopeful. And I hope everybody else feels that too. I'm just so thankful that there is a plan, and it's love, and that we all have access to love, and we all have the ability to give it to others and to help other people out of their situations for love. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for all the spirit guidance that came through today, everybody that joined us, all the comments, watching the replay. I hope that you got something out of this that encourages you or betters your experience here. I pray Shelly enjoys her new adventure and her odyssey into the next part of her life. You are not alone. Your husband is with you. Sunglasses on, ready to travel, baby. You got this. Everybody else, we love you. Thank you for joining us. You mean a lot to us. You're why we show up. You're why we didn't procrastinate. And we hope that you don't procrastinate. So don't snooze, don't lose. Or if you do snooze, just know you choose it. So you do.
Yeah, well, that's what Cosmos says, So let's not choosy doozy the wrong things. So what? But if that's what this was all about, and he'll give it to somebody else. And it's just because it needs to be done. You'll just pass it along. It's all in your Bible.
Does Marcus have anything to say?
Well, of course. Well, this is Trevor.
Hi, Trevor.
He's my little well, he's not really my sidekick. He's Loki's sidekick. So yeah, Loki's mad at me currently, so it's all right. But I just want to thank you for everybody being here, and it's a blessing. It's such a blessing to every day to teach, to know that the words that we've spoken, it's still here in all different realities in different ways. And humans are learning in different ways. Benjamin's a wonderful addition because his knowledge is invaluable to the switches of things. People don't understand that. And he can, in today's information is valuable, because all the information he gave today, he's going to forget because it's leaving him. It's not needed because all you need to remember is what's for your highest purpose, your love. That's really what he wants you to remember. And so that's what I want you, when you come out of these things, it's love. The lesson that God's always leading you back is your journey to love. Your odyssey is always back to love. And that is Odysseus' journey. He had love. Well, he always had love in here, but she had love. His wife had love. He had his own love. And when he left, he did everything because because it was adventure, but it was all out of love to come back to see the love. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like an analogy. If you hear, it's like a metaphor. He left, for love, and we all go through chaos to find it. I would just find it like Vishnu, Krishna, and the Shiva energies. Well, think of it this way. We all start in the Vishnu. We all start in the creation part of our lives. We're all creating our lives when we're here. Krishna, and then you got the chaos part of Shiva that comes forth and just messes it all up for y'all. But that's just energy. And then you have Krishna, because it all comes back to the energy of the love. And so that's what each of that brings to all of you. And understand that your journey Odyssey is, like Angie said, if you have time, read a little bit here, a summary, it would help you out, and spiritually it would really help you out. Yeah. And that, because and then Wizard of Oz, there's anything like that, or just go where you feel led to go. But we're really happy to be here, introduce new information to all of you, and we're always happy to hear new information from all of you. And that we send many love, blessings to everybody. We hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you're from, and we just hope you're blessed. Be a blessing to yourself, a blessing to others. And Shelley, you're such a blessing. Remember this, Rick has his sunglasses on. He's ready to go with you. He has like a hat. He's ready to go. He's going. And he even says with the kids, he goes, honey, the kids will be fine. They're good. And he loved her so much, and he's pushing, but she always goes back to love. She knows, and she grows. So we're proud of you, Shelley, and we're proud of the journey you have, your odyssey, and we can't wait for your adventure to see where your adventure goes. And you keep us on your journey as well. And her mom and dad said to tell you hi as well, to tell us Shelley hi. They said they just love Shelley and that. And her mom said she loved the jokes that she could put her dad down pretty fast. That doesn't take much. I'm hearing it doesn't. But we love everybody. And we hope that you just join us on our lives. When we do have our lives, please join us. And the next is going to be on chakras. And if there's anything you want to hear, any stories that you would like for us to cover, please go on our Facebook page or whatever. Join the TikToks. And you look at the TikToks because they're good. And any of our YouTube. So if you miss us, there's a lot of outlets and things you can actually go on.
Yeah, we're sprinkled around.
Well, I'm going to let Angie end it because I always end it. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to let Angie end it because I always do. Cosmo said I need to back this up, and he's right. So,
well, know you are loved by everything, because everything is love. There's a little ball energy, so go be a really good little ball energy. We love you. We'll see you on our next wherever it is.